What's up, desktoppers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back for another video. And today we have the 2023 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing. We've got Derek Lunsford on the screen right now, as you guys can see. And hopefully, if I do this or remove myself, you can see just Derek Lunsford on there looking absolutely ridiculous, as he did last year for the 2022 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing, which was sort of the reason, I suppose, that he moved to the Open in 2022 and obviously placed so well, placing second in the Mr Olympia. And this footage here is courtesy of Gilco Productions as well, so make sure that you guys go over there to IG and give him a like, follow, and all that good stuff, and show him some love, because he has some crazy high quality footage, as you guys are seeing on the screen right here. So for me, I've only seen very little of this so far, so I'm going to be reacting to this live with you guys. And I've got to say, Derek Lunsford looks absolutely ridiculous. Like, look at that rear lat spread. That is absolutely wild. I don't think anyone's going to be touching his rear shots from the 2020 at the 2023 Mr Olympia. So there's Derek Lunsford. We'll go back and watch these again too. But we've got some more guys obviously to feature on the screen, and we've got big Ramy Mumdu Elsbaye, two-time. Is it two-time? Two-time Mr Olympia. Or three, yeah, two-time. And one thing I want to point out here as well is those quad holes, for me, they appear to be worse than they were at the Arnold Classic. I don't know if that's right or not, or what actually happened. So that might lead to rumors that they were filled prior to the Arnold Classic. I'm not too sure on that, but or just perhaps he hasn't got more stem cells done, which was the reason that Chad Nichols gave on the Bodybuilding University podcast when we spoke about this. He said 100% it was the stem cells, because there's no other reason as to why those quad holes sort of disappeared and got better. So give your guys' opinions in the comments below about Big Ramy and all these guys. Now, I do want to preface this as well, and I did mention it in the preview. Sorry, my phone's going off. Of the 2023 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing. And I did say that Big Ramy was likely doing Ramadan just prior to this, where it finished not too long ago. So if he was doing that, you can't eat or drink in daylight hours. And I've got to say, overall, Big Ramy, pretty good. I maybe even expected a little bit more if he wasn't doing Ramadan, but you got to look at his physique overall. It's pretty damn impressive, and obviously he hasn't ramped things up for the 2023 Mr Olympia as yet. But let me know your thoughts are on Big Ramy at this guest posing, and at the end I will get to your comments, and maybe even part way through as well. Now let's look at the next guy, and that's Samson Dauda. And I'll go back to the start of this video for you guys. Now Samson, he apparently just did like a clear out period after the 2023 Arnold Classic, which he obviously won. And considering that, this dude's structure is insane. If Samson was full blown here and his full off season like he was last year, but obviously with those additional gains, then I think everyone would be raving about Samson Dauda from this guest posing. And I've got to say, like, considering his off season situation, like if he's just got back on or what he's actually doing, I think that people would be going, I mean, considering the circumstances, I think he looks really, really good and really, really impressive. Yeah, looks really good. Very impressed with Samson Dauda. And honestly, he's so good with guest posings as well, because he's such an entertainer in the way he poses. Like, there's one little bit near the start of this, I'll go back to it, where he sort of, I'm trying to think of where it is, it's very soon after this, where he turns to the side and hits that side tricep variation, where he does it with just so much, what you call it, like smoothness and artisticness. Here it is. So look at that, like the way he hits that, he slows it, speeds it up, and then locks it, So he's a great, great poser, and cannot wait to see what he looks like when he gets full blown, and looks absolutely enormous. But let's move on to Nick Walker, and I'll go back over these guys as well when I answer your questions. So here's Nick Walker. I predicted that Derek Lunsford would look the most impressive and Nick Walker would be second. So you guys can let me know what you think. It's hard to tell when they're not side by side, but hopefully during this we'll be able to get some side by side footage, and I'll make more videos on the 2023 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing as well, because it's obviously going to be talked about probably for at least for next week until the New York Pro. So Nick Walker there, you can see he's got a tremendous amount of muscle. He stayed in pretty damn good shape as well since that Arnold Classic. The back double obviously is a strength for Nick, and it's looking even more impressive than past years. And for whatever reason, he said he's not training arms that much, but his arms look crazy. It looks like they've grown. So I don't know how Nick Walker has done that. I don't see how there's any possible way, but he seemed to do it. Now, Hunter Labrada is sort of a forgotten man of last year's guest posing. But I've got to say, like that front double bicep straight away, I think everything is looking better on Hunter Labrada. Like he's obviously 13 weeks out at this point from this guest posing. So he's probably got a little upper hand on some of these other guys. But looking at the legs, they look really good. The midsection looked better than before, better than the Olympia in 2022. And the arms are looking crazy as well. So Hunter so far, I'm looking very, very impressed. So as you can see, Hunter going into the side chest. I've got to tell you, I think Hunter's looking better than he was last year at this guest posing for sure. But it's going to come down to how he looks like on stage. That back double's looking really good too. The waist overall just looks way smaller. Yeah, David Noble there. He looks way better. Yeah, absolutely he does. And Chris Aceto predicted he'd wear a cap on stage and he'd have Pro-Tan running, which is what we've seen in past guest posings. But there, look at that. That most muscular is insane. Very, very impressed. I don't think I could be more impressed and more surprised, I guess. Well, I'm not surprised, but I guess I am in a way of how Hunter Labrada looks. I'm just very, very impressed with that. So shout out to Hunter Labrada. He deserves his credit for sure. So we'll go back through a bit as well, and I'll go to your questions and comments as well. Here we go. We've got Sensul says, big Nick Walker fan, but man, is he blocky. So let's go back to Nick. I mean, I think Nick is one of those guys like a Branch Warren that if he's not in crazy condition, like when he's on stage, he just doesn't look as aesthetic because obviously when you got a little bit more fat, which he doesn't have a lot, it just sort of adds a bit of size to the waist. But I've got to tell you, I think this is actually not too bad in terms of blockiness. Like for an off-season scenario and compared to last year's Pittsburgh Pro, I think this is a much better look for Nick. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is this a better look for Nick or worse? So let me know your thoughts on Nick Walker in this one. EP09 is here in the comments as well and says, Derek impressed me the most. I didn't consider overall conditioning as this is off season. These guys are probably on moderate cycles right now. So even playing field, Derek was the best. Now, I will say one thing. I think Derek is further into his off season. I'll bring up Derek Lunsford once again. And he is the man who's impressed me the most here as well. So, yeah, I think Derek Lunsford, I'll go back to the start of that one. He's so impressive. Like, look at that front double. I just can't see a scenario where Derek Lunsford doesn't show up at the Olympia and is minimum top 3. Minimum. And he's got to be one of the favourites going into the Olympia. It's a shame that we didn't get to see Hardy here because that would have been a true sort of showdown of these top 2 guys and to see where it might go. But, yeah, I just am so impressed with Derek. Like, look at that side leg. It looks more impressive than last year as well. He's got aesthetics with a ton of mass. Now, if he nails the conditioning, I think it's sort of game over for everyone, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see. All you guys getting in the comments, shout out. So let's go to your comments. Anyone more comments about Derek Lunsford? Here we go. Vinark says, Lunsford legs are weak. They are all abductors. I don't think so at all. Let's go back to that. I want to analyze this. So I don't think you can see there the outer sweep is popping out, and that's the main thing he wants to improve. But look at that quad. There's a lot of quad there. I don't think. Sorry guys, I'm having to constantly clear my throat. I don't think that's all adductors. I think that's a lot of quad. Like there's a lot of quad hanging off that bone, and he's got small knees, so small bone structure. So I think that looks good. Honestly, like the amount that Derek cops for his quads, how they're not big, I think they're pretty big. Like I don't know, that's just me. They can be bigger, of course, because he has so much muscle. Look at those lats. It looks, I mean, a lot of pro bodybuilders look unattainable, freaky, crazy, but the fact that he's maintained that level of aesthetics doing this, like that back is to the level of, like, I don't want to speak out of turn, but like a Ronnie Coleman level of freakiness. That's how it is. And he's just going to get better as well because Derek Lunsford is young. I can see Derek Lunsford being one of these guys that goes on a run of Mr. Olympias. And I said this as well prior to this Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing because Derek Lunsford is very, very good. There's no weakness from the back really, apart from maybe, you know, there's no real weakness. There's nothing. Like he's got big enough adductors. The legs are big enough. He's balanced. Just such an impressive physique. Yeah, very, very impressed. But yeah, you've got different. Look at that most muscular. Like he's still in great condition. And Harney even said, his coach, that he wouldn't be in as good condition. But he's sort of shocking a lot of people. I want to go back to Hunter as well because there's a few comments on Hunter which I'll feature. Richard Ratner says, Hunter looks superb. I completely agree. Completely agree. Like, so good. A lot of these guys actually really did impress me overall. No one is up there that just was like, they're a disappointment in this show. When this guest posing it is. But then you got the opinion of the narc as well. I feel like you're a bit of a hater on a few of these guys. Hunter, not impressive. I believe you mean at all. Looks like a frog. Interesting, but I don't know if he looks like a frog, but I think he looks awesome. Let's go through a few more of your comments. Here we go. Hunter won't make top 6 ever again, still from Taha Rangwala. And now we've got a few comments on Nick Walker. So I'll bring up Nick's guest posing footage here. And Gambarizing says Nick looks like a tank. Yeah, he certainly does. He looks absolutely enormous. If you guys want to get involved too, if you want your comment featured and a special shout out, drop a super chat as well, and I'll do that for you guys. But yeah, you can see Nick there. He is so muscular, but his bread and butter is coming in condition, like really, really sharp, good conditioning, and that's not something he's going to display in an off season. But you look at the arms and everything, and it's just very, very freaky. But I love how these guys have taken a lot of pride in their stage presentation in terms of tanning and all that. Like, we've all actually come in with a really nice tan, in all pretty good shape. Like, no one's off. There's no, what we saw from, Shaun Roden back in the day, and Phil Heath was always never looking the best here and went on to win the Olympia multiple times. The Lone Powerlifter says, I'd say Hunter is probably the least impressive. I don't know. I don't think he's the least impressive whatsoever. I would lean more towards, I haven't seen them side by side as yet. I've seen some low quality footage. I want to shout out Callum, Hines. It's Hins as well, who competed in the classic physique yesterday. And he got 11th, but this guy's a crazy physique. I'll get him back on the show soon. In his pro debut, the Lone Powerlifter said, I'd say Hunter is probably the least impressive. If I was saying at least impressive, we also saw Mike Lucy there as well. So I don't have videos of him, who's an Aussie pro who just turned pro and is doing the New York Pro next week. And then we also had Shaun Clarida. And I'm trying to think if we had anyone else. I feel bad if I forget someone. I think that's it. And these 5 guys that I featured on this video. But I've got to tell you, I don't think Hunter is the least impressive at all. I'd say he's probably maybe second most impressive, third most impressive. I haven't seen the lineup side by side, but I'm impressed with Hunter overall. But he's in better condition. He's competing in 13 weeks. So, Dave Manfra says Hunter is a few weeks out from a show. He needs to really up his game to be ready. Hunter's 13 weeks out, I believe. Maybe 12 this weekend, but I think it's 13. So he's got plenty of time. A lot of guys aren't near this shape at that far out. Some guys only start prepping in terms of cutting body fat at that stage because some of these guys stay pretty lean nowadays. So I think Hunter's got plenty of time, and I've got to tell you, if Hunter's watching this, Hunter, you look next level. Richard Ratner, Derek for the O win, I feel this year. Definitely a possibility because Derek Lunsford looks insane. Dex says Hunter is the closest to the show and looks like he's furthest from it. I don't know what you guys are seeing. I don't know if there's just some Hunter hate on here, But Hunter's a good dude, and I think he looked really, really good. But anyway, Carl Ellis, Huntsford will win Mr. O next, as in this year, or do you mean he'll be the next Mr. Olympia after Hardy? Let me know. Derek got back like teenager Natty. Carsten Nielsen. I'd say Derek has one of the best backs, if not the best back in the world right now. So I don't think it's like a teen Natty. Here we go. Here's a good comment. Shreddy Fox says, Derek in person at the Midwest Pro was insanely massive. So I don't know if that's a recent guest posing or if he was just there in person, but let me know in the comments. Look at that back. That's not a teen natty. That is definitely not a teen natty. I'll go back to the start of this and keep playing Derek because he seems like he's the guy that impressed more than anyone. And shout out to you guys. If you are watching live, give the video a thumbs up, smash that like button. Also subscribe to this channel because we're going to have more content around this Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing as well. The Red Loop says they got to get Crizzo in the lineup, Big Zave. 100%. Love to see Crizzo up there doing this. There's no Photoshop in these videos. This is all Gilco production. Shout out to him. Vanark, Samson will destroy them if he improves. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Samson has been improving at such a rate that, you know, like, he can definitely destroy some people in this. And get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on this guest posing as well. Here we go. Ken Wolf says, Nick looks good. His quads look up from last year. Derek also looks great. 100%. Totally agree. Here's one. Streetfire.net, undisputed all day, season 06 and on. Okay, that's a long YouTube name. Lunsford will be close to unstoppable once the new muscle is mature and grainy. It's very new and soft right now. He stays on it. A few years will be insane. Look at Lunsford next to others. His muscles are crazy. As are Samson and as are these other guys as well. I'll keep playing Lunsford because everyone is big on Lunsford at this guest posing, apart from the guy that said he looks like he has a natty teenage back. EP09, all these guys look awesome. It was a great guest posing, 100%. Shout out to these guys for coming in this sort of shape too. Like, this is not, you know, the Ronnie and Jay days when you look back at that. Like, they were off season. Derek or Samson winning the O from MVP, shout out. Thanks for you guys getting in here. The Narc, Hunter lacks wow factor. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you can say he has more balance than some of these other guys, but the wow factor might not be there as much. But Hunter's wowing me. His overall look is improving, for sure. Ken Wolf, Hunter looks great. Samson winning Arnold just moved him to top 3 easy. Yeah, I mean, I'm predicting him in my top 3 personally. Don't know where yet because, I mean, Derek Lunsford's crazy. And Hardy, how can you deny Hardy? I mean, came in his all-time best last year, and I think he still has room to improve on that conditioning. Sylvain says, Ramy Hunter look... Oh, wow. You're going hard. Look, smiley face poo emoji, let's say. Samson, Nick, good. Derek, the best of all. I agree, Derek is the best of all there. Hunter has the worst chest. That might be right, but he's got a lot of good attributes as well. A lot of stuff around Hunter and Derek here. Let me know your thoughts on all these guys. Top 3, no particular order. Samson, Hardy, Derek at the Olympia. Yeah, let me know your Olympia predictions after this guest posing. Have they changed? Are they the same? Nick's shoulders look like they need to pop a bit more from the white crane. Let's have a look. I think it's one of those off-season things. I remember one off-season I put on a fair bit of fat. Not that Nick's fat whatsoever. But when you just get that little bit of fat on your physique, they just don't pop as much. And you can see that there. They're just not popping. I mean, his shoulders look huge there. So I think it's more just the fact that more shoulders on a guy like Nick just adds more, what do you say, like V-taper, X-frame, all that. Steve Glover, mutant mode. MVP, Nick's delts make his chest look small. Yeah, see, that's the opposite. He's saying, obviously MVP saying his delts are big, you know. So it's varying opinions on this, which is the good thing about bodybuilding. Almost 250 of you guys in the chat. Keep liking, keep commenting, because I love this interaction with you guys. We'll go for a little bit longer and show some more of these guest posings again. But I want your opinions on Big Ramy. So I'm going to add his video to the stream right now. and you can let me know what you think. The Narcs, Samson and Andrew are going to highlight Nick's flaws. Yeah, they well could, and it wasn't a good lineup for Nick, considering his quads were maybe a little bit flatter in the lineup, and he's up against some guys with some pretty insane quads. Shreddy Fox, Hunter is insanely good. He's just up against unreal physiques 100%. Dante Pertinent says Nick and Derek are the standouts, when Samson Hunter may be able to crack top 6 in the future, for Ramy will retire. Yeah, I mean, Samson and Hunter, he's saying, may be able to crack top 6. I mean, they've both already done that in previous Olympias, so it's no doubt they can do that for sure. I guess Hunter's new system working, looking better already, but yes, all guys looking amazing. That's from Mad Max Mel. Yeah, it's definitely working. And they all do look amazing. I've got to say, I was waiting for someone to not be the best and someone to be just absolute standout, but honestly, all these guys are sort of standouts in this lineup, so super impressed. Super impressed. So shout out to these guys. And all these guys are good guys as well, so love to see them all looking good. I agree, Samson, Hardy, and Derek, top 3 at the O, no order. El Hombre Ed. Didn't see you show Shaun. No, I haven't seen Shaun Clarida's individual one yet, but I will have a check. Wow, someone asked if I'm racist. Definitely not. Samson, who's on screen right now, I love Samson. I actually helped him back in the day. Richard Ratner, Hunter's side triceps, really good, 100%. Ken, you think Ramy's best years are behind him? We'll feature that back on the screen too. Big Ramy once again. Yeah, Ramy's finished, never top 3 again. I think we can't judge it off this guest posing. The reason being is because Ramy, I believe, just finished Ramadan not long ago. I don't know how many weeks. It's a couple of weeks. Maybe he's jumped on just since then in terms of, you know, a fresh cycle, new supplement routine. But regardless, I think if he did just finish Ramadan recently and he was only eating during the night hours and only drinking during the night hours, and maybe he's taking some time off training during that period, then, and he hasn't got more stem cells, who knows? Because he's got time till the Olympia. But those quad holes there, they look a little bit more evident than they looked at the Arnold Classic, in my opinion, which is surprising. And Josh, you say Ramy's right leg is crawling up his knee. And I will agree with that. So you can see it in certain shots. There is definitely, like, where it attaches at the bottom, it's starting to come up a little bit. But is that going to be an issue? I don't know if you guys can see it there or not. Let's move forward a bit more. I want to get back to the front. Yeah, you can sort of see it there a little bit. It's not too bad. It's not like it's incredibly bad or anything like that, but yeah. Derek is not human. It appears he is not human. He's absolutely crazy. The Narc, Xavier, good to see you're not saying like all the time. Honestly, I'm not super self-aware of that. I will try to be aware of that sort of stuff a bit more often. Derek is damn impressive. This seems to be the sentiment, you guys. I'm actually falling behind on comments. Here we go. EP09. Regarding Hunter, it's not that people think that he's a weak bodybuilder, but they think that there's many better bodybuilders ahead of him this year. Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I just think that he looks so impressive here. I'm just really not surprised, but really impressed overall. But I do understand that, where he may have got some placings in the past where people thought that maybe it wasn't warranted that he placed as high as he did. So I completely understand that. Also, getting Jack to come out for the guest posing would be really cool. I would have loved to see Andrew jacked, because I believe he's doing the Texas Pro, so he'd be getting into prep now or in prep already. MVP, whoever said Derek is not impressive is blinded on fentanyl. It's hilarious. Richard Ratner, people need to give Hunter a break. He's looking really good this year at this stage. 100%. Totally agree. Couldn't agree more. Taha Ragwala says, no hate on Hunter. He's just the least impressive physique. Yeah, I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. 100%. If you think that, I have no problem with you saying it. I might not agree, but I will defend your right to say it. Casey Pavlina, my man, in the comments, I just wish Hunter had a better front lat spread. Elsewhere, he's pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, I think it's front lat spread, though. Let's see if he does it. I'm not actually watching it. I think that's actually a good pose to me. I don't know. I mean, obviously he has the torn pec, which is there. But let me know your thoughts on this one. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, I think it's better than Nick Walker's for sure. I mean, is it better than Derek Lunsford's? I don't know. I think it's somewhat comparable. I mean, it's not. He's not getting blown away. I think it's better than Samson Dauda's. And I'm a huge fan of Samson Dauda. So, I don't know. DDBB says Samson will never beat Nick again. Okay, that's an interesting take. I don't know if many people would agree with that, but Samson will beat Nick every time from now on. I love you guys getting in the comments and having this back and forth. Derek and Samson 1 and 2 this year. Yeah, I could see it for sure. Who's my top 3? My top 3 from this guest posing. This is from Josiah Williams. From this guest posing, I'd say Derek Lunsford is the most impressive. I would say, this is just off these individual videos. I'd say Hunter Labrada is, it's so tough. I might have a different opinion if I saw Hunter next to Nick, because Nick is so big, he doesn't look as impressive sort of by himself, taper structure-wise. Because I'll go back to Nick. I mean, just based on these videos, I would say most impressive, Derek Lunsford. Second most impressive, I would say Hunter Labrada. And third most impressive, I mean, that's tough. I mean, I'd need to see him side by side, to be honest, and I'd have a different opinion, I'm sure, later. But third most impressive, I'd probably say a Nick Walker or a Samson. Nick Walker or Samson, the third most impressive of this guest posing. And I predicted, before this, I predicted Derek Lunsford would be most impressive, Nick Walker second most impressive, and then, who did I say third? I can't remember who I said third. I think I said Big Ramy third most impressive, so... The Red Loop, shout out, man. Like the stream, you freeloaders. The Lone Pal says, I'm not hating on Hunter, but I think the other guys are better, although Ramy's waist is wide and his arms look small compared to the rest of his physique. For sure, yeah. I mean, completely entitled to your opinion, man. 100%. 100%. Samson quad sweep starts from his hips, unlike Lunsford, especially Nick's. Samson has serious flat bicep poses. Yeah, and his biceps don't peak like crazy. Here we go. Daniel Segura says Derek is going to be 5 to 8 time Mr. Olympia. There's definitely the possibility of that. Honestly, he's young, and if he won the Olympia this year, who's to say he's not going to keep improving and will hold people off? I mean, yeah. Sylvain Lemixkane. Hunter has a lat problem, are you saying? On side is declining and has same with his lower back. I think you need to rewrite that, man. Yeah, Clarida was guest posing, and I will have a little search for his footage. I can actually open up another window, and I hope it just doesn't freeze this computer because it's running a little slow. Here's a question. Marcus says, why don't classic physique guys have guest posings? I guess they're just not as crazy impressive overall, like in an off-season scenario. So, I mean, I know there are some guys that do it. Let's quickly get through some of these. I'll go to the most recent comments and sort of scroll my way up, go through a few more, and then I'll wrap up this video. We've got Lee Priest in here commenting. He says... you all delusional with comments. I'm trying to encourage comments, Lee. Here we go. Lopsang for Congress says, Mr. O, 1 Nick Walker, 2 Derek, 3 Hardy. I mean, that would be against the odds, I mean, at this point, but I'd love to see any sort of, mix up and change up. And Nick's a good dude. Lee Priest, let's discuss Mr. O 2025 while we're at it. Makes the same sense. Yeah, I mean, obviously we can only take so much from these guest posings, but it gets the fans excited, and if we get more excitement around bodybuilding, I love it. MVP says, Nick just has the best fan base. They are like the Trump cult. Ken Wolf, Samson will be a force in the O for years to come. What else we got? I'll wrap this one up soon, guys. Lee Priest, my way on YouTube says all the comments here are funny. Yeah, there are some funny ones, like people like saying Hunter looks bad. I mean, I don't think he looks bad, like, to go to that level. Yeah, right, 825. Shout out, my man, for getting in the comments. Says that's what happens when you start eating real food instead of drinking it. And that's based on Hunter Labrada, as he used to have a ton of shakes. And I don't know if he still blends his food or not. Here we go, Lee Priest's opinion. We can't judge anything from this. Olympia, way away. People can get sick, injured, etc., etc. This means F all to anyone who will do the O. 100%, because Big Ramy, like I said earlier, if he just done Ramadan, he could still be off gear, I mean, or on something small, and then just say he loads up. 4 weeks later, he could be close to the most impressive here. So it really doesn't matter. Lee Priest says, Ramy, Hardy all moving down this year. Interesting. And here we go. We say Big Ramy. I'll add Ramy to the stream now. Big Ramy hasn't improved since the Arnold. His arms look like they're even smaller. Yeah, he might just be off. I mean, you know, when you sort of come off, I think these guys, your weaknesses get amplified, I guess. So, yeah. But yeah, super impressive guest posing from all these guys, in my opinion. Even Ramy, I just think that, you know, if all these other guys are more impressive, then it's how it's going to be. Do we have any other groundbreaking comments here? Get Brett Wilkin reaction real quick. Is Brett in the comments? I don't think I'd have the time to message him, send him the link, and then get him on here. I've got to wrap this one up, and I don't know if it will work too, because my computer's running a little slow with all these videos. Here we go. Question for Lee Priest. Carsten Nielsen says, question for Lee Priest. Back in the day, all coming off gear, you all exploded that much more when getting high on being on, right? It's a little confusing, but Lee, if you want to answer that live before we wrap this one up in the comments. Here we go. If you people saw Kevin or Mike Christian months out, you wouldn't think they would even place in local shows. And that's Kevin Lavroni, I believe, that Lee's talking about. And yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I saw Dennis Wolf. This was before he did the New York Pro years ago. And Dennis Wolf finished as high as, I think, third in the Olympia. Won an Arnold Classic title. I saw him a week out from the New York Pro, and he looked, I was like, this dude looks 6 weeks out. He came in and won the New York Pro the next week. So these guys' physiques can change based off what they do. And I mean, I don't recommend guys looking 6 weeks out and dropping the level of water to look contest ready in 1 week. But still, I mean, things can change very, very quickly in bodybuilding. And obviously, because there's a chemical side, it's not natural bodybuilding, then things can change. But if these guys are all natural, you'd probably be able to draw a little bit more from this. But yeah, some of you guys asking questions and whatnot here. But let me know your thoughts. I'll quickly have a quick look on Instagram for you guys to see if there's anything of note that we can have a look at before I wrap this thing up. And I've got a lot of support on the live right now, almost 300 viewers. Give the video a like and comment as well so we can hit over 300 live viewers. I would love to see that. Have a quick look at these guys' tagged photos and see if there's anything else that has gone up. Maybe some side-by-side footage, I'm not too sure. Just bear with me, guys. Hopefully it doesn't mess up the stream. Go through these tagged photos of these guys on IG and see if there's any comparison type footage or videos or anything like that. There's a few little ones, but nothing that's probably going to be great. As I can see, I'll see if there's anything else from Gilco, maybe a side-by-side. And if this does come out as well, I will do a video, go live again. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell button, guys. It would be much appreciated. I do have footage now of Shaun Clarida, so I'm going to quickly download that. And hopefully it doesn't mess up my stream. So I'm going to download it and then upload it. And this is courtesy of Gilco Productions too. So shout out to that dude because he does a phenomenal job. So let me get this footage of Shaun Clarida for you guys, because that guy deserves his credit. Because, I mean, how tall is Shaun Clarida? 5'1", and he's standing on stage next to complete giants. And the birds have joined the stream, if you guys can hear that. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to download this video of Shaun Clarida in HD. 8K, shot in 8K at least anyway. It's not 8K, but I'm actually streaming on. I think it's 1080p. But it's some 8K quality. So let me just download this video of Shaun Clarida, and hopefully it doesn't mess up my stream. And then I'll show you guys this. But let me know what you think of Hunter Labrada. I mean, he's obviously got the pec tear, which comes out, and it's a little bit more obvious when he's comp lean. But yeah, I think Clarida is going to win the 212 easy. Almost at 300 live viewers, guys. So if you can make it 300. Okay, and I'm going to show you a video of Shaun Clarida. So stick around. HD, high quality footage. Yeah, we've got some guys discussing stuff in the comments live now as well. Like the stream. Shout out Red Loop. Thank you, my man. It's much appreciated. So hopefully the stream doesn't freeze up here. Pray for me. Here we go. Okay, I'm about to share the video of Shaun Clarida. Might just play some audio for a second, but I'll put a stop to that. Don't want to get demonetized. So there you can see Shaun Clarida on the screen right now. He's never going to look as impressive off season, but coming off a, what was it, a 5th in the Arnold Classic, he's just got so much muscle on, you know, a guy that doesn't have super wide clavicles. It's like he's just stacked. And he's still able to maintain a pretty aesthetic physique too. He's like a mini Ronnie Coleman, as he always gets called. Wow, is that how short the video was? Okay, this video's super short, but at least you can see Shaun Clarida and what he looks like. And you see how it's zoomed in from the very start? Obviously, because he's shorter, they want to frame it a bit better. Yeah, Shaun Clarida looks very good. I think it's going to be an easy win in the 212s for him, but guys like Keon Pearson are going to want to say other things about that. But shout out to Shaun Clarida, always so impressive. And, I mean, look how he zoom in. For everyone else out there, and they're like, Shaun Clarida, we need to get a little closer. But shout out, because Shaun Clarida is one of the good guys of the sport, and he's really, I suppose, raised everyone up and made everyone up their level at the 212. And Dave Thomas asks, is Shaun doing open this year? I don't believe so. I believe he's doing the 212. Shaun almost looks contest ready. He's a little bit off that, but yeah, I know what you're saying. And we'll finish this video off with the footage of Derek Lunsford guest posing at the 2023 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing, if it wants to pop up, unless it's going to freeze on me right now. Hopefully not. Surely not. Let me add another video. Big Ramy, let me add Derek Lunsford. Is that going to work? I think the Derek Lunsford footage is frozen. I don't know if it's frozen on your guy. Yeah, but here we go. There we go. Derek Lunsford. I think he was the most impressive of this 2023 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing. He's definitely going to be predicted in my top 2 at the Mr Olympia. If not, I'm going to predict him as the winner. He is that impressive. Let me know your thoughts on everyone from his 2023 Pittsburgh Pro Guest Posing. How did you have it placing out? Who did you have first, second, third? If it was judged like a bodybuilding contest, I would have Derek Lunsford, Hunter Labrada, and in third, I would have like a Samson Dauda or Nick Walker. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. I went a little bit longer than I was initially planning on it, but I got huge support in the comments and with the views as well. So shout out to you guys. But that's it for this one, guys. I'm Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.